It's not like you're playing like a comic book villain where the moral compass is sort of cut and dry. It's not like this is a person that exists as a literary evil device in order to elevate our protagonist's narrative. This is somebody that is much more complex and a real person.
But being here, like this, with you, it feels like destiny.
Like, I just always think of Andrew and my heart breaks. I always tell people that there's no requirement or prerequisite to watch this and A, feel sorry for him, have sympathy or empathy or anything, and by no means would I ever encourage any kind of forgiveness or exoneration. Like, duh. What Andrew is famous for and what he left with this world is deplorable, and it's like, that's a given. However, that is not to say that I have a great deal of sadness for him, and again, that tragedy of lost potential, like that's just so, like, what a tragedy in and of itself, like on top of the other tragedies. That's its own American. Me, as soon as I'm out of it, I am actually a notorious goofball on set, and I was a little weary about admitting this in public because I didn't want to be insensitive to the very grim material or to the people that have been affected by the horrible things that Andrew left in this world. But I think now I can talk about it because it was almost a defense mechanism from having to dwell in these really sad places for too long, and also a way to help our crew to bounce back, because you're spending hours and hours doing pretty dark things.
Last chance.
We all know what it's like to, want to make a good impression, and what it is to be liked, or to like somebody, not have them like you back, or the desire to rise above your station, or to stand out in some kind of unique way. I mean, everybody knows what that feels like. Everybody has different tactics, and everybody has different reasons for wanting those things. And through a variety of things that I do believe that were outside of someone like Andrew's control, those things get warped and twisted in very extreme ways that are very far from us. But the impulses are similar. The thing that I have to remind everybody, especially myself, is that we all have access to the same shit. Like, we all are made of the same stuff. So while there are certain things in hopefully most of our minds that would bypass the impulse to take one's life, we still have the same access to it. With our story, yes, the title leads us in with the most famous thing, which is this particular murder of Gianni Versace, but obviously we're talking about the murder of things that he stood for, the lifestyle, the glamour and the excess and the contentment of, with being a happy gay man in an otherwise sort of suppressive time in the United States. And the crime that we're exploring is homophobia itself, and how that not only affects a world-famous fashion designer, but how that affects a kid who was born just in this sort of right place, wrong time, a kid who's born in the poorest neighborhood of San Diego into a family that is crippled by unaddressed, unmedicated mental illness, who's growing up in a world of celebrated excess and glamour and having enough of the gifts that should give him access to that world, charm, intellect. He's just, this handsome kid that has just enough to be able to reach it slightly, but being held back on the other side with equal tension to a world that makes him feel like he doesn't belong there. And that kind of push and pull, which is sort of centralized by a great deal of homophobia, can either make or break a man, and it breaks him.